It just occurred to me now, correct me if I'm wrong, there was a period of time where people were known to live for us like a really long time. Really long, like 300, 600, 1,000 years. Do you think maybe those people stayed young and vital and full of energy and still keeping their young look about them? Maybe that's because we as people get so stressed out with life. We're held down by all the things we're doing and all the things around us that we don't have. And, this is how we're going to live longer. Think about the fact that now all of a sudden people are living longer and doing all these things. But not only are they living longer, all of a sudden they got new testosterone pills where, they can make you, get erect. Well, that's not a surprise. The same pills work for young people. It's not really a thing about age. It's just a mental thing. And then think about the fact that they have these pills now where they have all these ripped old men. And the reason those old men got old is because of people around them that are their age, that were born the same time as them, are aging. So they're like, well, they're aging, but I'm still in shape. I still feel young. And then they're still going to just, because all the people they know have eventually died, they're going to die. And that's why, because they just think they should. How everything is a belief? Why is it that a tree grows and can live for hundreds and hundreds of years, but a plant dies, besides the fact that we chop them down and they're smaller, so we grow trees to last for a long time, and as long as they're not overstormed or have too many negative things happen to them, then they can live and grow forever. Keep dropping their leaves, come back the next year, dropping their leaves, come back the next year. They go through their cycles. Well, who's to say that when we consider it a midlife crisis, it's not like a second puberty? Like, that's our chance to either start walking straight or start walking bent over because we're so worn out from life. I have 2 slipped discs and a ruptured disc, or 2 ruptured discs and a herniated disc. I'm sorry. My dad is with a slipped disc. I was going to say something about my dad and me both have back problems, but my dad's had a bunch of herniated discs and slipped discs, and I have ruptured discs and blah blah blah. Anyway, I feel totally brand new. I don't feel like my back hurts, and when I feel any pain at all, I focus on it, I think about it, and I picture myself healing myself, and it works. So it's just more about belief system, and I think I'm going to start believing that I really will live to be a really, really, really old age. There's not going to be a limit to it. So instead of saying 300 or something like that, that just might be a number I thought sounded to make sense, because that sounded like way too unbelievable. But it's really not all that unbelievable. It's just a number. I mean, honestly, why couldn't it be? Maybe it is our second chance of use it or lose it. Start being active again. That's why people, he's having his midlife crisis. He's getting over the hill, so he's trying to get it in, hang out with all these younger girls. Maybe it's because we're all of a sudden having a second stint of puberty, and the women around us also have their menopause, which may be their second stint at their kind of puberty. And the reason that nothing happens in the whole situation is because people think they're getting older and think they're supposed to die. You know what I mean? What if you just think to yourself, I'm not getting older. I'm getting older, but I'm not going to die just yet. I'm going to die eventually. But who says eventually has to be anywhere near 100, 200, 300, 400, any certain age? Just when you want to go. I think people, by the time they get older, they're so frustrated and unhappy about life and living that they sort of give up on stuff. The whole idea of retiring, I don't even want to retire. I want to keep going until I die. I want to do something that I love until I die, and that's what I plan on doing. So maybe midlife crisis and menopause are just second puberty, and maybe there's a third one, but when you lose the second one, you don't use it, then you get old, and you use it, you lose it. Maybe it's not your sexual organs, maybe it's your youth. If you don't use your age, or if you use your age as an excuse, then you'll lose your youth. If you use your age as an excuse, then you lose your youth. That's a hard one to say. use your age as an excuse and you lose your youth, whatever. If you use your age as an excuse, you can lose your youth. There we go. Anyway, so maybe that's just what it is. So maybe it's second puberty, not midlife crisis. And that's how I'm going to look at it. So therefore, I don't really see anything wrong with dating younger people, because I'm not supposed to just be like, oh, I'm too old for you. There's no such thing as too old, ever. And get that out of our minds, because once you get that out of our minds, maybe we will start living longer. Hint, that could work, wouldn't you think? If you think, oh, well, everyone else dies at 80, 90, 100 sometimes, sometimes a little older. Oh, sometimes very rare cases people live to be older. But, they're not that hard to believe why that could just be the fact that everyone dies when they think they should die. You know what I mean? They give up, they retire, they worked so hard and now they believe they should be done. It's sort of crazy thought, but I think it might be true. In fact, I do believe it's sort of true. I just would be the first person who understood it as what it is, not what we took it as. Anyway, I'll be back later.